Whoa! Chances are that at some time playing with your WordPress staging site, you broke it.
Oops.
If you're smart, you took a backup and restored the site before anyone noticed. You should have used a WordPress staging site, but maybe you did not know how to create a staging site, or you thought it was not necessary, or you thought it would take too long to set up, or maybe you did not know which was the WordPress staging best option. Fortunately, these days, many web hosting companies offer WordPress staging, but it doesn't mean it's actually the best or simplest best staging site solution for you. For example, SiteGround, which I'm not an affiliate for because their support these days is only 2 out of 10 from my direct experience. They offer a WordPress staging site option, but it's complex to set up. You have to play with the DNS and understand your site structure and so on. They run their staging sites as subdomains. And if you run into any issues, as I have on a few times on client sites, SiteGround support's not the best at these days. But the servers are pretty fast. So what is the WordPress staging best 2022 option? Glad you asked. Let me show you the fastest, easiest and cheapest WordPress staging site solution that I have found with working on over 30 different hosting providers in the last 5 years. And today I'll give you a tutorial on setting up the staging site using that staging solution. And the good news is that it will only take just 3 minutes and a coffee. Yoo-hoo! Let's do it! Yoo-hoo! The solution I'm going to share with you today is a solution called Cloudways, and basically it's a cloud hosting service provider. So getus.at/cloudways will get you straight in there. Now, full disclosure, I'm an affiliate of this site, and basically any links that you use help this channel grow and basically help to pay for this channel, which is like, yoo-hoo! Okay, click on the start for free, and basically you just need to sign up and register, and no credit card required, which is great, and you get a 3-day full trial, so that's really superb. So fill in your details. You'll need to verify a few minor details like your phone number and your email address. So use the promo code down here, Affyboy20, and that if you continue this service basically after the trial, you get 20% off your first month. Yoo-hoo! So once you've registered, you just come in here now and spin yourself a new server. Click on launch now, and you've just got to put a couple of details in here. Specifically, you've got to choose your service provider. Now these 3 things here, DigitalOcean, Linode and Volta, they tend to be the cheapest option, and they're all good. I tend to go to DigitalOcean as my service provider because I've done a lot of work with them and I've spent a lot of time using them. So it's my personal recommendation. Now, what type of site it is that you want to create as a base. So I'm just using WordPress. I need to give it a simple name and a name in here. And now they become active. And I can choose the server, and you can notice here the specs on the server, and you can move this up. Now, you can actually scale up at any point in time in the future. Scaling down, check out the video in the description about how to scale down a DigitalOcean, so Cloudways server. Check that out in the description. Because it's a staging server, I just want the cheapest, and basically you'll notice down here the price, $10 a month, and I'm paying per hour. Now this is the great thing about this staging server. I can blow it away in an hour's time and finish with it, and it's only going to cost me 1 cent. How cool is that? So I'm going to click on launch now. I'm happy with that, but before I do that, I might want to change my location. Now, for a staging server, you should basically put it as close as physically to yourself. So wherever you're located. So if I'm located in France right now, I'm going to choose London because it's the closest option for DigitalOcean. If you look at Volta and AWS and the other service providers, they may have a closer server than that. So click on launch now, and it's going to take me a few minutes. 7 minutes. Yay! So this is where you have the coffee. So while you're waiting for your VPS to finish running, then come into your WordPress site and load the plugin, which will do the migration for Cloudways. So once the plugin's loaded, click on settings and you'll get given this page here. But we need a few details. So let's go back now to our setup, and it's finished, Yahoo. And we need now to actually just create a couple of things in here. 2 things to notice in here straight away. Servers and applications. Your server is what you've just created. Your application is your WordPress website. So basically, if you want to do anything with your servers, you come into here, and applications, you come into here. Right now, what we need to do is set up an FTP user. So click on applications, click on the application you've just created, and you'll get this screen here. Over here on the right hand side is where you put it. Now you can call it whatever you like, but you're going to need to be able to use these information in a minute. Notice the password restrictions are quite extensive. And click on add. And that'll take like half a minute to create you that user. And in a second now what we can do is basically plug these details that it's going to give you into your WordPress plugin. So come into here and I'll fill this in. So it wants several details. All these details we can get from the Cloudways admin. So notice first of all we want the destination URL. So come into here and there's no little click on this one, so I'm just going to open it up, and while it's loading I can copy that, bring it back over here and paste that in. It wants the FTP host site, which is an IP address, which is that one there. Close that down now, I don't need that. It wants the database name, which is over here, and these ones I can just click. The SFTP, so it's secure FTP user, which is that one, and the password, which is my wonderful password, and I can just click on it to copy it. And basically I don't need to usually have any of those set. Click on migrate. Yoo-hoo! So it's now going to chug away basically and install that hookup and create the hook between the two systems. Once it's hooked up, off it will run. It's going to now basically take however long it takes. A little tip, delete your old backups if you don't need them, because anything on here basically that is sitting here and that is not being used and not needed on your staging server is going to get copied across. So if you've got a lot of backups here, then just get rid of them. And of course, and then your migration will run a lot faster. So this is where you have your second coffee. Yoo-hoo! Didn't tell you about the second coffee, did I not? It takes on average about 40-45 minutes for the migration, but you don't need to do anything. You can basically close this window down if you like and disappear for a second coffee. Yo-ho! Complete. So I can close that down. And if I come in here, basically, I can see the server, Yahoo. There it is, based in London. There's the IP address. And a little tip, over here you can actually have a lot of sub options, so you can clone and delete. So once you're finished with all this in your staging server, you remember you're paying for it by the hour. So don't leave it sitting around because it's costing you money. You can get rid of it, and you can have your account sitting here without basically having any active servers. You'd obviously need a credit card attached to the account at that point. After your 3-day trial, they basically wipe your system. So add your credit card and keep it active here. And then anytime you need a staging server, away you go. Yahoo! So the last thing to show you is basically how do you get into your actual staging site. Under your applications, open up your application, and your login details are down here. Now, because you've migrated a site, your original login details from your live site are copied across. So these actually settings here are not correct because the system doesn't know your logins. If you create a brand new setup, that's what these are used for. So ignore these and use your ones from your live site. The FTP details over here on the right hand side though, of course, are valid because that's what you created. And if you need to log into your site via FTP, these are the values that you use. And you can click on the more details to find out how to set up FTP. And remember, it's SFTP, which is secure FTP. So have a play around in here. You can sort of thrash around and remember the difference between the server and the application. That's the key thing to remember. And I recommend you doing some backups and set those up. Your SSL certificates are already set up for your staging site because you're using a temporary URL. But if you wanted to set this up as a live site, you've got all these settings in here. And there's a ton of stuff, bot protection and a whole bunch of stuff. So basically, have a play around and enjoy. Whoa! Hey, thanks for watching today, and thanks for watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed and got some great value. I would love you to hit the like button, seeing that this helps this channel grow and inspires me to create more and more free, great content. Seeing you're interested in staging sites, you may want to know more about Cloudways. I have a great playlist here, so check that out. So thanks again, and catch you again super soon. Yoo-hoo!